The night was impossibly dark, the kind of darkness that swallows everything in its path. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles turning white as I navigated the unfamiliar backroads. The GPS had lost signal miles ago, leaving me to rely on my instincts to find my way home. The only source of light was my car's headlights, which seemed feeble against the oppressive blackness that pressed in from all sides. Rain began to splatter on the windshield, the droplets distorting the already limited view. My heart pounded in my chest, a steady rhythm of anxiety that matched the relentless beat of the windshield wipers. I glanced at the clock. It was nearly midnight, and the storm showed no signs of letting up. The trees that lined the road swayed ominously, their skeletal branches casting eerie shadows that danced across the asphalt. My hands trembled on the steering wheel as a chilling breeze seeped through the cracks of the windows, sending shivers down my spine. I tried to shake off the unease that had settled in my stomach, but it was as if the very air was laced with an unsettling energy. I had taken this route to save time, a decision I now deeply regretted. The main highway would have been the safer choice, but I had thought I knew better. The trees seemed to lean in closer as I drove on, their branches clawing at the edges of my car as if trying to pull me into the abyss beyond. My heart skipped a beat as a figure suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. I slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching against the wet pavement as the car skidded to a halt just inches from the person. My breath caught in my throat as the headlights illuminated her face. A young woman, drenched in rain, her expression twisted in fear. Without thinking, I flung the car door open and rushed toward her. "Are you okay? What happened?" I called out over the sound of the rain. She stared at me with wide, terrified eyes, her wet clothes clinging to her frail frame. "He's coming," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Who's coming? Are you hurt? Do you need help?" My questions poured out in a rush, but she simply shook her head, her gaze fixed on something beyond me. "He's coming," she repeated, her voice barely more than a whisper before she turned and disappeared into the trees, leaving me standing alone on the rain-soaked road. A shiver ran down my spine, and an inexplicable sense of dread settled over me. I turned back to my car, my pulse quickening as I fumbled for my keys. I needed to get out of here. There was something deeply unsettling about this place. As I stepped back into my car and started the engine, a piercing scream cut through the night. My heart raced, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. The sound had come from somewhere deep within the forest, a sound that seemed to carry with it the weight of 1,000 tormented souls. I accelerated, the tires skidding on the wet road as I sped away from that nightmarish scene. The rain pounded relentlessly, and the forest seemed to close in on both sides, as if the very world was conspiring to keep me trapped within its clutches. I glanced at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see something pursuing me, but there was nothing but the impenetrable darkness. My breath came in ragged gasps as I navigated the twisting road, my mind a whirlwind of fear and confusion. How had I ended up in this nightmare? My thoughts were interrupted by a sudden flash of movement ahead, a figure standing in the middle of the road. I slammed on the brakes, my heart pounding as the car skidded to a stop just a few feet from the figure. My hands trembled on the steering wheel as the headlights revealed her. A woman, her white dress soaked and clinging to her body. Her face was twisted in agony, her eyes empty and hollow. I opened my mouth to ask if she needed help, but before I could speak, she let out an otherworldly shriek that seemed to reverberate through the very fabric of reality. I covered my ears, my heart racing as a wave of nausea washed over me. When I looked up again, the woman was gone, vanished into thin air. Tears welled up in my eyes as a feeling of hopelessness consumed me. I needed to get out of this place. Now. I slammed my foot on the gas pedal, the tires screeching as the car shot forward. But no matter how fast I drove, the road seemed to stretch endlessly before me, the trees closing in like a suffocating shroud. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the rain stopped. The sky cleared, revealing a full moon that cast an eerie glow over the landscape. My heart pounded in my chest as a realization dawned on me. This place was not bound by the laws of reality. It was a realm of its own, a nightmarish purgatory that existed beyond the confines of the known world. As I continued to drive, A sense of resignation settled over me. I was trapped, caught in a never-ending cycle of terror and despair. The road would never end, the forest would never release its grip, and the figures that haunted this place would never stop pursuing me. And so I drove on, my eyes fixed on the never-ending road ahead, a silent scream echoing in my throat. In this forsaken realm, time lost all meaning, and I became just another lost soul, condemned to navigate the twisted path of my own undoing for all eternity.
If you are new to the channel, subscribe so you will never miss a wicked haunting story. If you like this video, smash that like button so others will know it's worth watching. And don't forget to click the notification bell to get notified when new stories are released.